All right, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order now. Scott's got us what we needed, and Mr. Reed, if you'd lead the pledge, and Roger, offer thanks, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for the opportunity to come before do the city's business. We ask that you please watch over us, guide and direct us.
Okay, Scott.
Bob Van Haren. Here. Susan Stockton.
Here.
Jennifer Baker.
Here.
Wayne Allman.
Here.
Philip Frame.
Here.
Kari Manuel.
Here.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Here.
Nick Reed.
Here.
All right, the first item you've got is the minutes from the June 4th council meeting for your approval.
I make a motion we adopt the minutes.
Second.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
Wayne Allman.
Yes.
Kari Manuel.
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Yes.
Philip Frame.
Abstain.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Nick Reed.
Yes.
All right, you got some committee reports. Anyone has any questions about any of the reports? If not, I do have one announcement before Scott gets us to modify the agenda a little bit tonight. Arvest Bank has got some invitations down here for us and a box of goodies, I think, down there. They are hosting I think it's called a wealth management seminar. It's about the economic and market outlook. It'll be at the Trout Room July 9th from 7:30 to 8 is breakfast, and then the forum is from 8 to 9 o'clock that day. So there's invitations like this down there on the table and a box of goodies, and we appreciate y'all bringing those up here to us. Thank you. All right, Scott, you got something we need to modify?
Yes, sir. We had some documents pass each other in the middle of the night here, and we didn't get this on the agenda. So we need to suspend the rules. I've handed you out this ordinance. It's an annexation ordinance. I'd like to suspend the rules and place this on the agenda as the first item.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and place this on the agenda.
Second it.
Nick Reed.
Yes.
Kari Manuel.
Yes.
Wayne Allman.
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
Philip Frame.
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Morgan.
Yeah, do that first. That's Jesse.
Well, you know, the old man, he's got to go home.
Whereas a petition was filed with the county clerk of Baxter County by the Cottages at Quarry LLC, Kevin Spillers, William John Barrow, and Tamelia Lynn Barrow, trustees of the William and Tamelia Barrow Living Trust, dated September 23rd, 2015, praying for territory to be annexed to the city. Whereas, what's the date of that court order?
Thank you very much.
May 16th.
Whereas on the 16th day of May 2026, the County Court of Baxter County, Arkansas, entered an order authorizing annexation pursuant to 1440-609 of the Arkansas Code, finding the petition met the requirements for annexation, and then of the provision directed the clerk to forward the order to the mayor of the city of Mountain Home. Therefore, be it ordained, land described in Exhibit A, territory is contiguous to and adjoining the city of Mountain Home. Petition to annex that property is granted, and the property described in Exhibit A is hereby accepted as part of and annexed to, made part of the city. The above described territory shall be annexed to and made part of Ward 2 of the city, and the same shall henceforth be part of said ward as fully as existing parts of said ward. That the above described territory shall be zoned, Track 1 shall be zoned R2, Track 2 C4, Track 3 C3, to be used in accordance to zoning laws and laws of the state of Arkansas. Billboards are located on various parts of the property being annexed. Existing billboards are grandfathered in. No additional billboards are permitted unless they comply with the ordinance permitting signs. Should existing billboards be destroyed or removed, then the sign ordinance of the city of Mountain Home shall apply. Ordinance shall become effective 30 days after passage.
Okay, Ted?
I have handed out to show them where this is. This is on West Road. As we're going out West Road, Packler's on the right. Those football, baseball fields on the left. You get out there, we get to the drive that go up to the, what is that, Rodeo Drive that goes up to the administration building. And as you go up there on the right, Spillers have built a bunch of condos and apartments and things there. He has started construction of additional, he's got some that needs to be tied on the sewer. He's built on the north part of this property. So he has to annex in order to attach to the sewer. And he's talked to Arnold about attaching to the sewer and everything's ready to be done.
We've been holding up attachment to the sewer because they're not annexed just yet.
Okay, so they're ready to move, people are ready to move into, but he can't let him move in because he's not attached to the sewer. And I couldn't have a gap, so we got the Barrows to annex their piece of property right there. If you look down right there next, as you turn in, the school owns that first little strip, and then the Barrows owns a little, what'd you say, dance studio or gymnastic? Gym or whatever that is. And then Spillers also owns a little storage complex there. So rather than making a little gap in there across the Barrows, 30 feet, so I can't have a island created, so we're annexing all this, so everything's in, so we don't have an island. I went through GSI in Little Rock and got the approval. We submitted to the county court. Judge Liddy agreed to release it. We got it released from the county on May the 13th. I had planned on being here on June the 16th, but y'all cut out to go to Little Rock, or supposed to the municipal league, so I got deferred, so Spillers had to put this off. So I had, in the passing in the night, I guess, I had brought over the order from the county court, because you can't present it to y'all till 30 days has passed. And so 30 days passed on June the 13th. So as a result, I would respectfully request the city annex this property to the city of Mountain Home as we extend out West Road.
I have one correction, though, because that's not Ward 2. Wayne and I are in Ward 2, and our boundary goes from Highway 5 North 201 to 62. So I don't know, who has the ward that would be like the high school?
Yeah, it'd be 3. It'd be 3. It'd be Ward 3 because.
It's 3.
Yeah.
It's 3?
Yeah.
It's 3.
Okay.
So just one minute.
No big change.
I thought it, when I was looking at the map, I thought it was 2, but I've been wrong before.
Yeah, because you got 1,
I just know where
2,
my word's
3.
at.
I'd like the minutes to note that.
He's sitting right there. He's sitting right there.
But he's been wrong before.
So they've already got structures built there then?
Yes, they're ready to hook on.
Okay.
They're ready to hook on. Of course, this is the benefit of the city. We get additional revenue from property taxes and all that good stuff as it comes on in.
I think Arnold wants to talk.
Yeah, I do have one question. It's more of a question for the council. My department doesn't have any problem with Kevin Spiller annexing or anything like that. With the nature of the construction out there, we have been inspecting most of what's happened out there. Unfortunately, because he's been out in the county, he's never submitted retention plans, drainage plans, those out of those ordinances. How would the city council want to handle that situation also?
He's got to comply.
Yes, I think, Arnold, we need, if he wants to annex and hook to the sewer, he meet all of our conditions.
Yes.
Okay.
He knew the property was outside the city when he started it. so-
Right.
At first, he was going to build them and not have an inspector, but I told him, I said, hey, that's not going to work. If you're going to annex them, you've got to get approved from the city, and he came over here and did that.
Right. We've been inspected since that time and everything.
Would you just make sure that he knows that with the annexation comes all of that?
The drainage and retention. Outside of that, then everything is pretty well up to speed.
And you can make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make it.
Okay.
He's got to comply. Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and put on second reading.
Second.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Carl Emanuel,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
So ordinance annexing property contiguous therewith to Water Sewer Improvement District Number 3 of the city, accepting annexation of certain territory of the city, annexing property of the city of Mount Home as residential R2, commercial C4, and commercial C3.
Motion to suspend the rules and put on third reading.
Second.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Carl Emanuel,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
Wayne Allman.
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
So ordinance annexing property contiguous therewith to Water and Sewer Improvement District Number 3 of the city of Mountain Home, accepting annexation of territory of the city, annexing property of the city as residential R2, commercial C4, and commercial C3.
Before we have a motion, if I can, please, what do we particularly see as being an issue? Like, because they've already got the homestead set, they've already got the concrete poured for the drives. I mean, they've already got everything done.
Right.
So then there's a potential, if it doesn't fit the engineering of the city's requirements for their green space and their drainage, then they're gonna have to bust.
They'll figure out a way to come into compliance. He has enough room there to get compliant with what our ordinance is.
If he doesn't revoke his permit.
Well, the problem is once we put this into zoning, if we pass it now, and then there becomes a problem, and say it turns out that it's $1 million problem, then he's zoned in the city, he's out of compliance. I mean, so I
And
want
that's
to make sure
where,
that.
I mean,
But the leverage we got, we don't hook up the sewer until everything else.
yeah, exactly. The sewer and the water is our leverage and everything, the occupancy permits, everything like that.
You want to issue an occupancy permit until he's in compliance with the retention
Exactly.
and everything like that. I mean,
Okay,
it's-
all right, well, I'm not wanting us to have something that's zoned and then it's just gonna end up sitting there because it ends up being a bigger problem than what it could possibly be.
Well, it's zoned for what's built there.
Right.
Those duplexes and everything.
But
So
you can't
it,
finish it without this.
yeah.
I mean,
he just-
zone-wise, but I mean, sorry, annexing it in and it just end up being an issue, so that was my only
Well,
concern.
the annexation needs to happen before we would ever allow, by ordinance, allow anybody to hook onto the sewer and everything.
Right.
So it will have to be annexed beforehand anyway.
Had to be in
And then we-
compliance before we hook onto
The
the sewer.
compliance will be
Exactly.
done before, okay.
And then, like, the C12 that's there, it also will hook on? Is that?
That's
they have
not
the
planned at this time, no.
option?
It's an option.
They would have an option to do it, yeah.
They'd have to pump uphill.
But they
Yeah.
don't have to, I mean, like they're not gonna have to invest in a parking lot right now and
No.
all that stuff if they're not
No,
ready at that point.
They're grandfathered in as is. If they
Okay.
change or something,
Then-
It's their
then-
choice.
yeah.
Then
and
it's
then
up to them to make
when
that
the-
investment.
When the
Okay.
use if they upgrade the parking lot or something, just like any other place in town, that's when those ordinances would kick in on them.
And one last question then, that county road there, does it become a city street then?
Is it a city street?
No, it's not, no,
No,
I'm
that's-
No,
I'm
it's
talking
gravel
about
drive.
on the other side of that,
No.
it's a county road right now. It's a county drive.
It's a,
He would have, what GIS didn't have it on their maps.
I don't think it's a dedicated.
It's not an accepted and maintained county road.
So will it
You
become
don't
a
get to these, but-
street then?
No. The driveway.
driveway.
It's just a driveway
There's a
that's
house
private
down
drive.
here at the end.
okay, because there's, yeah, I was gonna say, there's a home at the end of that drive too. It's just gonna be a private drive then?
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Motion to adopt?
Second?
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Corey Manuel.
Yes.
Good question, so.
Emergency clause on annexation.
Yeah, I saw that. 30 days from today then.
Thank y'all.
Thanks,
I
Ted.
appreciate y'all letting me get on because we had a mix-up in the clerk and all that stuff, but
We missed one single sheet of paper. That's what caused all
Yeah,
this.
well, you might want to thank Mr. Waymire and Mr. Embach for jumping ahead.
Because they would have been first.
Yeah.
Now, they did say that you do have to stay for the whole council meeting. You don't get to just leave. You have to,
I'm going to throw them under the bus.
They might want you to leave.
All right, Roger, let's go to
Whereas development of the city of Mount Home, Arkansas requires both council and planning commission to have input in the development of city, whereas subdivision regulations of the city of Mount Home adopted on July 1797 through ordinance 1997-26 and amended thereafter in Chapter 7, Article 7.5 of said regulations provide for city council acceptance of public dedications contained within. Whereas the Planning Commission at its June 8, 2026 meeting reviewed final plat and unanimously recommended approval. Therefore, be it ordained, the city of Mountain Home accept final plat, improvements and public dedications of Glenbrier Commons Phase 2D, owned by Embach Enterprises LLC, as set forth in the final plat of the development. And the last paragraph is the emergency clause.
Mr. Waymire.
Good to be here again.
Sorry for Ted showing up.
No, it's okay. Totally good. So, yes, we are here for the final plat of Glenbrier Commons Phase 2D. This will actually be the last of Phase 2. And so, like you see on the screen there, it's the dedication of the north half of Michigan Avenue and then all of Silver Bay Court. There are 2 triplexes, 1 duplex, and 1 quadplex associated with this. He would also recommend or request the dedication of all the utilities and the easements associated with that. And the detention area that you see will not be dedicated to the city. He's just going to maintain ownership of that. So, got any questions? Good answer.
Are
Is
these
this
pretty
the
well-
end of Glenbrier Commons development?
Unless he's got a Phase 3 up his sleeve somewhere.
That's what,
He probably does, but it'll have a different name.
Are these pretty well committed? I mean, when you sell them as fast as you build them, or?
No, I don't have any of them sold yet.
Oh, okay.
No, it's pretty full up.
Oh, okay. I was
You're
wondering.
interested, you might want to talk to him.
I know that housing is challenging around here.
make a motion, we suspend the rules, put on second reading.
Second.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
It's ordinance accepting final plat and public dedication for Glenbrier Commons Phase 2D located along Michigan Avenue and Silver Bay Court in Mountain Home, Arkansas, and accepting improvements therewith.
Motion to suspend the rules, put on third reading.
Second.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Nick Reed.
Yes.
It's ordinance accepting the final plat and public dedications for Glenbrier Commons Phase 2D located along Michigan Avenue and Silver Bay Court in Mountain Home, Arkansas, and accepting improvements therewith.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes. Motion to initiate the emergency clause.
Second.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Wayne Allman.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Himbach, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Okay, the next item we've got is a resolution authorizing the city to purchase, I think it's owner about 10 to 11 acres, I believe is the number, something in that range. It adjoins Cooper Park to the north, It lies south of Twin Lakes Cinema, and it joins Cooper Estates on, that'd be the east side, I believe, of this property. This property is a piece of land, you see it outlined in red, that we've been trying and have talked to the owner of this for probably 3 years now, going back and forth. There's a lot of things we can do with this particular piece of property. The first thing we need to do is underbrush it and get it opened up where we can see from one side to the other of it. There's a fence on, as you're looking at that screen, it'd be on the right side or the east side of that property that's very similar to the one that surrounds Cooper Park now, behind those condos. We want to go ahead and put a similar fence on the west side and in the north. In time come, we want to underbrush that property, and Arnold and them are working on, we've been dealing with Bradley Drive rebuild for years and the drainage issues on Bradley, and one of the things that's always held that job up was the struggle we had in getting easements from Cooper Estates. And that's been going back and forth way before I got on this seat right here. If we can acquire this property, we don't have to have those easements, because our plan is when we start the Bradley Drive rebuild, once we get the water off of Bradley to somewhere in the vicinity of that corner there where that house is currently sitting, then we're going to create some retention in this area, and that will hold some of that water that we're dealing with now on Hicks Creek and the flooding down the creek, and then we can slowly release that water down Hicks Creek. So it serves the purpose of some drainage work that we really need to be doing on Hicks Creek. It also, since it joins Cooper Park, Daniel's looking to put in some soft surface walking trails throughout this wooded area there. And what we want to do is get it, like I said, underbrushed where we can see completely through it from one side to the other. We want to get rid of the house that's there on it. That's a real problem for us. You can see the pictures of that. And in that general area there around the house, one of the things we're planning to do is build a small parking lot. That parking lot would probably hold 6, 8, 10 cars. It's not going to be huge, but create a trailhead there with access through the fence, so you could actually enter the walking trail from that corner there, walk all through those woods completely around Cooper Park and back to where you started at there. The lady that owns this property, Tammy McAlmont, we've been talking to her for, I know, at least 3 years, and she has finally agreed to sell that to us. We had an appraisal done on the property. That appraisal came in at $125,000. She had one at $234,000. So after a lot of discussion with her, we got her to meet us in the middle, and it is going to save us, I think the last estimate just in pipe alone for the drainage work we were looking at doing somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000 of pipe that we were going to need. Plus, we don't have the issues to deal with easements and all the stuff that would come along with that, and we could fix a lot of problems by acquiring it. She's agreed to sell it. We need your approval of this resolution, and if you do so, we anticipate that we'll take ownership of this property in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Right there.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the resolution.
Second.
Sounds like a good asset for the city.
Well, you won't ever get another piece that joins the park.
No.
There's none left, not in the city.
Everything else is.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
All right, thank you. The next item you've got is we have to approve the items. I believe the list is in the package, and it's got going to the auction next week.
Yes, sir. It's several pages long.
Yes, and so we do this each year in June for an auction in July at Walker Auction. It's coming up.
Make a motion, we approve the auction items listed.
Second.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Corey Manuel.
Yes. All right, so the next item you guys, another resolution, Steve Hill. I'm gonna let Steve explain this one to you. This is for some equipment for the water treatment plant.
Good evening. We just need approval to use restricted funds. That's using the water depreciation account to purchase 4 actuators for the water treatment facility. The current actuators we have up there, they were installed in the 1990s. I don't know exactly when in the 1990s. And so there's no parts are available for those. So as we have problems with those, or if they fail, we'll have an actuator to actually put in place so we can continue to provide clean drinking water in town. So I just need approval to spend $41,913 out of the water depreciation account.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Steve. The next item we've got, Roger.
Whereas City Council, City of Mount Home did adopt the latest personnel policy handbook by ordinance 2025-34 on November 6, 25. Whereas personnel policy handbook needs to be brought up to date with revisions to meet the needs of the departments of the city. Therefore, be it ordained, current version of personnel policy handbook is hereby replaced by an updated personnel policy handbook 2026 and shall remain in full force and effect unless specifically changed by the ordinance. Updated personal policy handbook shall be kept on file with both clerk's office and human resources department will be available for public inspection upon demand. If any part of the personal policy handbook shall be held invalid, such parts shall be deemed severable and the invalidity shall not affect the remaining parts. Ordinance number 2534 and all previous ordinances adopting personnel policies or amending previous personnel policy handbooks is repealed, and the last paragraph is the emergency clause.
Okay, and Sue, would you like to explain, when you open up a new community center, you learn a lot about things we got in the personnel policy that we've never dealt with. So this
Yeah,
is an
so one of the
attempt to-
things that we've realized as we've never dealt with what we call permanent part-time staff. It's usually been seasonal part-time staff or police officers who might have worked on different events and everything. So now that we have permanent part-time staff, one of the first things that came up was in our personnel policy under the holiday section, we talked about non-uniform employees who are required to work on a holiday that receive time and a half pay, and it didn't define whether that was full-time or part-time. So since holiday pay is a benefit for full-time employees, we just went in and clarified that language to add the full-time to that. While I was in there, I just went ahead and kind of simplified and clarified the language a little bit and updated the policy, but that's the only true change to the policy. Everything else remains the same. And we'll probably find more as we go.
Personnel committee met recently, and we agreed to bring the matter to the full city council.
And we approved it in committee. I'll make a motion to suspend the rules, put on second reading.
Second.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
Nick Reed.
Yes.
So ordinance to adopt an updated personnel policy handbook regarding matters affecting the status of employees of the city of Mountain Home and repealing ordinance number 2025-34.
Motion to suspend the rules and put on third reading.
Second.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Yes.
Wayne Allman.
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
So ordinance to adopt an updated personnel policy handbook regarding matters affecting the status of employees of the city of Mountain Home and repealing ordinance number 2025-34.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
Motion to adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
Carr Emanuel,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Wayne Allman.
Yes.
Ready for the next, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Whereas the City of Mountain Home has previously adopted zoning ordinances in an effort to maintain socially acceptable land use and to establish rules and regulations regarding zoning within the city. Whereas the city has previously incorporated a table of permitted zoning uses intended to better clarify what types of business may operate in each zoning. Whereas the city's most recent zoning ordinance was established on April 2nd, 2026 through ordinance 2026-11 and included both zoning regulations and a table of permitted zoning uses. Whereas the table adopted through ordinance 2026-11 failed to include numerous uses intended for commercial C1 zoning, namely residential uses and various commercial uses. Therefore, be it ordained, ordinance number 2026-11 is amended to include updated table of permitted zoning uses dated July 2, 2026, and July 2, 2026 zoning table shall replace the previous table originally adopted by reference to ordinance 2026-11. The zoning ordinance captioned the zoning code captioned zoning ordinance Mountain Home, Arkansas 2026 is hereby amended to include the updated table of permitted zoning uses dated July 2nd, 2026. Said July 2nd, 2026 zoning table shall replace the previous table originally adopted by reference to ordinance number 2026-11. Last paragraph is the emergency clause.
Okay, Mr. Strange. Boy, it seems strange calling you mister, but
I do appreciate it. So,
Similar to calling you Mayor.
put that in the notes. Be sure to put that in the minutes.
the rundown on this is, as if Mr. Sanders was still here, he mentions every time he does a rezoning, a lot of the residential was missed in the C1, and because C1 is bound by law where it's at in the city currently, we just adjusted our intended use to show all of the residential settings in C1 is basically the extent of the change.
Does that mean he won't have to come before us as often?
Correct.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Correct.
And we will too.
And the S stands for?
Special use.
Special use.
So on anytime you see an S, they will still have to come in front of you.
For the sexually oriented business.
Sexually oriented business. I think another one is your scrap yard, salvage yard. I think there's one in there. God help me here. Maybe
Halfway house.
Halfway house. There's a couple. Few in there.
Well, that's been there though for a while. Only the yellow ones are the new.
Correct.
Yeah.
And to give you more of a backstory on this, this was the original intended use table that was built. I don't know exactly who built it. Arnold was involved in it several years ago. And when we added the C2 subsections such as A, B, and C, we rebuilt this whole table. And that's how it slipped through the crack with the residential stuff.
And I'll add, the alternative to adding the residential uses to the table would be, they would have to come get a variance from the city every time they wanted to build a house, build an apartment building, build anything residential in the C1 zone, which takes...
It's a very limited zone.
It's a very limited, yes, it's downtown,
Yeah, it's
basically.
just the downtown area.
But that takes time and money, and it's just, this is a much easier and simpler way to do it.
Yeah. There's not much room to grow in C1.
And an example of one that he's done recently would have been the lots by Tank Ray. He asked for a variance on those. That's the reason he asked for a variance as opposed to getting it rezoned, was because it is C1 zoning. And because of, Roger can probably give better understanding on that, C1's governed by law, so you can't
rezone.
You can't rezone it, so he had to go with the variance.
You've got to have these permitted uses, because C1, if Ted had filed a motion to rezone or a petition to rezone within C1, it's not, you can't rezone C1. It's what it is. The law doesn't allow you to do it. So you have to expand the permitted uses. And before residential wasn't a permitted use in
Right.
C1, so they came back. That's the majority use.
Wow. Glad you caught that.
I'd make a motion, suspend the rules, put it on second reading.
Second.
Thank y'all. Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
So ordinance amending ordinance 2611 in the Mountain Home zoning code, zoning ordinance to incorporate and update table of permitted zoning uses.
Motion, suspend the rules, put it on third reading.
Second.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
It's an ordinance amending ordinance number 202611 in the Mountain Home zoning ordinance to incorporate an updated table of permitted zoning uses.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
Philip Frame.
Yes.
And there is an emergency clause on that, I do believe.
Yes.
Motion to enact the emergency clause.
Second.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Wayne Allman,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morgan.
I think this is just title only because it's the second reading. of
Second
this
reading,
next one.
yeah.
So ordinance regulating operation of mobile vendors, food trucks, and food truck courts within City of Mountain Home and repealing ordinance 2020-25 and 2020-48.
Okay, that was the second reading of that. I think we had the first one before we took the break for the municipal league, so we've actually had a little bit longer than we normally do. But between those, anybody got any questions or discussion or more comments on that?
Something I see on here is, I know Bob and I discussed, and I don't necessarily see why they have to stay gone for 30 days. I don't necessarily see why they have to leave for 24 hours, but that being said, I hadn't had any complaints with that 24-hour moving of the food truck. But 30 days, I think that's a little extreme, and I would like to see if we can look at that and see what we can figure out to keep it, the must stay away from 30 days, or for 30 days before returning to park.
The other side on that, though, that I'd like to throw out there is, honestly, if we're going to re-regulate this and change it, I don't see where we need to have a move, period. Because the only place that it's not restricted is the food truck court, which has virtually been empty, first of all. Second of all, if I had talked to Clay after the last council meeting, if we've got people that are serious about having a business and trying to get a business started, possibly going to a brick and mortar, may never go to a brick and mortar, but I think we've got bigger fish to fry as far as code enforcement trying to police things that are going on, besides if somebody's been there 30 days, first of all, or moved for 24 hours, second of all. I mean, to have that list, first of all, we don't have that many food trucks in our area. I would like us to move forward and try this. Try it without having to move. Try it without having to be, regulated on that side, and let's see how it works. If we have a problem with it at that point, then we can always come back and reevaluate the ordinance as it sets. Now, I know there were concerns about gray water, there were concerns about construction, and that was another thing that I talked to Clay about as well. That if we have those clearly stated, and even if on the gray water, I said we go as extreme as going, you don't get a warning. If you get caught dumping gray water, then we pull your license, period. There's not a person that's going to invest into a food trailer or any kind of other mobile establishment in that fact that's going to jeopardize completely losing their ability to serve in the city limits. if they're serious. So we redline it right there. There's no warning, there's no second chance. You get caught dumping gray water, you're not going to have somebody that's got a food trailer that's going to dump a cup of water out the back side of their trailer and take a chance on losing their license. It was shortly after our council meeting that I'd seen in Springfield that there was some gentleman that had a hibachi sushi truck in Springfield, Missouri, and after 3.5 years, they were moving to a brick and mortar because the demand was that high for it. So I would really honestly say, if we're going to alter this at all, let's open it up, let's test the framework, and see what happens. And if it turns out that we end up having a problem, it's nothing for our council to come back up, reorganize the ordinance, and change whatever rules we need to change as that goes. But as far as free enterprise, people trying to do their own thing, if you've got a private property area and you want to set it up, if you've got a parking lot, even like at the mall, you know, if somebody wants to set up where food trucks can be there at the mall and you've got a food truck court there, maybe that gives another option. Maybe it gives a more affordable option, whatever it happens to be. It's definitely a more high trafficked area to allow folks to take that chance. Maybe that's how they're going to build their American dream and move forward to it. So, I mean, that's my main statement from the last time, but I would like to see if we're gonna change it, we write up the rules, whether there's leniency or not, depending on what it is. Let's make it tough. Let's make it solid, where it's black and white. If you do this, this is the cause. This is the penalty. This is the, you know, whatever it happens to be. Where we don't allow them to add extra structures to it. We don't allow them to have an extra dry storage building next to whatever their food truck is. And if they make that investment where that food truck has a mobile stage that comes down the front of it, then sure, okay, they've made that investment. It's part of the mobile food truck. But let's make sure that whatever safety compliance needs to be, if there's going to be tables and chairs out in front of it, that they are safe, that they're far enough away from the road. Whatever those guidances are, let's write it and let's try it. And if it doesn't work, then we come back and we adjust the ordinance to fit to what will work. But let's give folks a chance to have that free enterprise, to have that opportunity. So.
Anyone else?
Well, I think if we're not going to have them be in a mobile vehicle, why would we want a mobile ordinance? And if they're not going to be mobile, should they come into compliance with more of our brick and mortar stationary businesses?
Well, another thing, if they're not mobile and there's not a time limit of like 30 days, there's nothing that, and you brought up the mall property. If that was my property, I could have 100 food trucks on there and nothing you can do with it.
Right.
I mean, if they're not mobile, they could camp out there forever and it could look like the Midway at the county fair. With just a little while, it could.
Well, it could, but the reality of it is we don't really have in general, we don't have a food truck issue right now. And then if it came up to the point where it was an issue, that's where we come back and review it then.
But we've got a lot more now than we had 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Oh,
because
definitely.
It's a growing trend.
But there's a lot of those guys that, even if they're set in an area, they may leave for a week. They may go to Cotter for a festival there. They may go somewhere else. I mean, there's some of them that possibly would stay exactly where they're at and not move 24/7. But the majority of those guys are going to be hopping from place to place. So then you've got code enforcement going, okay, well, hold on. I know they were here at this point. I didn't necessarily see them leave, but maybe they did leave, or maybe they didn't leave. I mean, I just think there's bigger things that we need to have code enforcement focusing on versus whether a food truck's been somewhere 30 days or 28 days and they left for 2 days and came back. I mean, that's you know, if we open it up and we try it, we literally have nothing to lose by trying it.
So is there a way we could suspend the 30-day movement thing for, say, 6 months and then bring it back for review? Not make it a permanent change, but make it a provisional change so that we can see if it works, if it's a problem?
Well, the reality is there's not a permanent, even if we change it now and put it in as an ordinance, we can come back in the next council meeting and change it again if all of a sudden we've got a problem, or 3 months down the road.
I think, though,
6
you
months
may
down
have an
the road.
issue with people thinking they're grandfathered in if you do that.
Well, it's not but if it's not what they think, I mean, people thought a lot of things we've learned over the last few years about different ordinances in the city that weren't even really ordinances.
Well, no, all I'm cautioning against is if you pass something that allows someone to stay, and they come in and they establish it based upon that, and then they're doing that for 6 months and we're having problems, and you go in and say, hey, you can't stay there more than 30 days, they're going to argue, hey, we put this here in reliance upon what your ordinance said at the time. You can't make us move. I think there's just some exposure to us that way. I don't care how y'all vote.
But
I just think there's some exposure there.
Is there enough lenience in law or the ordinance where we include in there that this can be changed, this is subject to change, and we put in with a 30-day notice, or we put whatever that side of it is in the ordinance, if we say, okay, at this point, we're
You could probably,
opening
as long as you put people on notice of that fact, I guess you could probably do something like
if we
that.
put that clarity in that notice, we
Probably-
go, okay, for
probably
now, we're
could.
doing this,
Probably could.
but it could be changed with a 30-day notice,
Yeah,
and then that alleviates a
Probably,
grandfather
you
clause.
probably could do that.
But if we don't do anything at all now, and let's say it goes to third reading and then we don't touch it at all, it comes off the table and we revert back to what we've
That's
currently
right,
got.
that's
which
right.
is a
What you're
30-day
talking
rule.
about, if you're going to make changes, you'd either need to make those between the second and third reading, or you'd have to bring back a new ordinance if
Yeah.
there's support for it.
Well, I definitely think 30 days, having to stay gone for 30 days is too long. Now, if they have to move for 24 hours, and that's been the way it is, I know.
Well, and right now, it's not even that, it's just.
They
you
can
just
move
have to
for 5
move.
minutes,
So
yeah.
you could move, if you're in a parking lot right now, and they've got 5 lots across the parking areas across that lot, they could literally just back it out, pull it into the next lot, and that's technically a move as it's written. They could pull it forward
Yeah.
and push it back, and it's still this, I mean, that's the, so right now, we don't have, I mean, and then how does Todd police that? Because they're like, well, we pulled it forward and we pushed it back. Technically, they moved.
Moved one spot.
Well, even if they don't move
Well,
a spot.
Whatever we do, I think it needs to be clear, because if it's not clear, and ordinances should be, then it becomes a enforcement issue.
Has to be movable.
And then what's a
Well,
happy
and
spot?
it would always be movable. I mean,
If 30 days doesn't work, what's the number of days it should work?
The gap.
The gap, yeah, that's what I'm concerned about.
What do you think would be a good number there?
but I'm saying we don't have a gap. That's,
And I don't necessarily have what's a good number. I just I believe 30 days is a little bit extreme.
Has this been a problem? Are people upset about this?
but that's
what
the
I've
thing is, I
I've
haven't
not had
heard a
any
big problem
complaints on it.
much of anything of it
Yeah.
at that. And then bringing up the option, though, to not have to move, I've caught a lot more feedback on that side of it, to be able to allow people to be established, find a good spot, and stay there if they choose to.
I mean, are people upset about having to move a food truck? I don't.
I think it's only come up one time. so
Yeah,
far
it comes
that
up
we've had a
very few,
problem, unless
if
Todd
any.
knows of something.
And we might need to review this, and come up with our guidelines and everything, because if all of a sudden we're talking tables and chairs, they're gonna be allowed, well, now we gotta talk about bathroom facilities. And where the health department regulations are, I know, fire department will have some also additional inspections and everything else that we need to review. I don't know,
Do we know what
rather
other
than coming up
cities are doing?
tonight with what you're gonna try to change and everything, I don't know if that's prudent, really. You might wanna set up a committee to study it or something like that as far as these changes.
We could do that, and not even, if we need to hold it off in 2 weeks and work on it some more. we can
I
do
think,
that.
and I think Susan was about to make the point also, that it might not be a bad idea to see what some other towns that are, I mean, we're unique here. Not every town in Arkansas is growing and have as much going on as we do, but we look at Jonesboro, Fayetteville, Batesville, certainly not Harrison, but some other other communities that decide how they're handling those things, and maybe we could get some ideas from that.
We can do that.
And may or may have already done that, I don't know.
We don't have a lot. I mean, there's 2 food vendors at the food court. How many other mobile trucks are there even around? It's expensive to set up. I know there's at the curb that moves a lot. I mean, there's a few, but we don't have a lot. They move a lot, yes.
I'm not a mobile food taxi truck. I don't do food. But same ordinance. I fall under the same.
Yeah, currently you do fall under the same category.
Might be a good idea to
Yeah,
take a
we
look
can
and
do
see what
that.
other folks are doing.
Okay. Well, we can get started on that, not tomorrow, because we're not going to be here tomorrow. But we can start next week with Todd and you.
Yeah, we got a lot of different regulations to look into just to make sure that, because where do those lines cross or what a permanent, setting up on a permanent spot changes a lot of health department
It does.
regulations, that kind of stuff.
And we keep mentioning tables and chairs. I don't necessarily know if I call that a permanent spot, but if you bring in a porta-john, then
that makes it
that's a
more-
little different than having a picnic table out
Picnic
front.
table,
Yeah, definitely. And
Well, and you
But
start,
I do know the health department regulates, if you have tables and chairs to sit and down and eat,
Yeah.
you gotta have a restroom facility,
Yeah.
Really?
It's required one toilet.
Mine requires a toilet in the facility. So I have to have.
And that's totally different. Yeah, but that's different than
The health department's last thing to remain is different. Food trucks are very similar to stuff that I do with local options, so I have to have a toilet in the facility.
But if you have 2 picnic tables that seat 8 people, then you're not required.
It says nothing in it.
Yeah.
So, that's where it gets different. So, in a building, brick and mortar,
Right,
for every 25 occupants, you have to have 1 toilet.
right.
And, okay, so how does that relate to this versus,
You'd have to investigate.
we'd have to investigate.
I was gonna say, do they have a requirement like that with food
For a
trucks?
picnic
You know?
table.
I don't know.
I think they have.
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Look around the state.
Now,
So we just need a little more facts versus
right,
gifts or
right.
maybes.
And I'm with him as far as the committee. I think that's a great idea because my main concern, and this isn't our ordinance, this is Todd's ordinance really. Our main concern on the building inspection side is if they're mobile, they need to stay mobile. And that's where the 30 days comes in as far as they're moving every 30 days. Okay, they've got to be mobile in order to move 30 days, not to break the law, essentially, if that makes sense. That's where we're coming from.
But unless they anchor the vehicle down or take wheels off of it or something, they're gonna be mobile whether they're there for a year or a day. I mean,
Are they?
are they not?
Well,
What makes them not
when you-
mobile if they set somewhere for a year?
not when you start adding front porches to them.
Well, no, we talked about the front
That,
porches thing.
but
and
also,
that's-
I mean, you got to think of it from,
And you're talking
I'm the
one-
wrong guy to be talking about it, but registration, tires, lights working. I mean, what keeps the trailer operable to be moved? You see what I'm saying?
Right,
If it sits there for a year and they go, I don't need a registration on it, I don't move it. I don't need tires on it, I don't move it.
But you can see that just by
You can see
looking
that,
at it.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's
If you
easily
inspect it.
verifiable.
Kind of back
And
to
and the porch thing was 1 out of 12 in the area, and it sat there for a year plus before it was even recognized.
But
I mean,
what drew attention to it?
Well, I understand but here's the thing: is it's still, it was there like that for a year or so.
Right. Right.
Before it was even,
And then we suddenly have,
and then all of a sudden it was like an epiphany that, oh, it's,
Well,
I mean, you know,
because the research was done, because all of a sudden we've got accessory structures showing up on the site. We've
right.
got,
Well, and that's what
and
we
then it
talked
goes,
about
okay,
is-
well, let's look here, let's look into, do research on the site. What all do we have going on? Holy cow, okay, we're way over 30 days. That's how it come about.
Right.
And back to the mayor's question, he asked me about how long, I can see where 24 hours is going to stop. It's going to make sure you've got your license. It's going to keep you from moving from one parking spot to the other. But it's not necessarily going to get in a business's pocket if they have to stay gone a day. Now, you have to stay gone 30 days, and you might move. That's going to start changing where people know where to find you. That's going to start changing some dynamics.
The problem with 24 hours, and Todd, Todd, correct me if I'm wrong on this, come in at any time. We had a mobile vendor that was on site. He'd been made aware that he had 30 days. He left. He left the spot. He didn't see it, I didn't see it, but we were told that the mobile vendor left the spot. He was back the next,
Left on a Saturday.
left on a Saturday and was back on the next Monday.
Not to sound snotty, but that's kind of not his problem if he
Right.
complied to everything.
Agreed, but with 24 hours, how do you check that? I mean, like, how do you?
Well, that's the same
I'm
thing I
gonna
was saying
step back,
before,
let
so
him-
why?
For you to check.
Kind of like they said currently, I mean, like you alluded to, Bob, you can drive around the block and you've complied with the ordinance.
Right.
So whatever it is, y'all spoke to the committee, it just has to be clearly defined because, like you said, Todd's not up here driving through town every day saying if they moved or
Right.
And should
put
it-
chalk marks on the
And
ground.
really,
So
that
whatever
should be
y'all come
something
up
to be-
with, if
yeah.
it's clearly defined, we're good.
But I don't think we ought to reinvent the wheel. I really think we need to see what some other
Yeah,
folks
that's
are
fine.
doing.
We can do that.
As far as accessory buildings, I mean, what's the protocol right now?
So as far as accessory buildings are concerned, anything that's skid mounted that's not permanently attached to the earth is considered an accessory building. So your dark skin sheds, your carports, those are your accessory buildings. Currently,
Are
right
they
now.
allowed to have them? Or?
Yes, there's a permit process behind it. It's very simple. Got to maintain 10 foot off the property lines for residential, and some commercials, 0 lot lines.
Is there a limit on how many they can have?
No, there's a limit on how much of the lot space is taken up by them, but as far as the amount, no.
Well, I mean, in the parking lot of the mall, you got,
Yes.
they can
and-
have 15 of them then.
Right.
Or 30 of them.
Right.
So.
That'd look real good, but
Anybody can
No,
do it.
it
It wouldn't
wouldn't.
have to be the mobile vendor then.
So.
Let me ask the council this real quick. The original request behind all this was to better clarify what can and can't go into the food truck courts. And I've not heard anything positive or negative about that end of it. It's always been the food truck residency and how often they got to move and everything. Would it please the council if we split out that food court truck part of it, or the food truck part of it, and consider that in
Well-
2 weeks as its own ordinance?
And I do have some questions kind of on that end too, because what if Joe's Barbecue Truck starts selling T-shirts?
if it said Joe's Barbecue on it, I think that's
okay.
He's selling something, Wrap sells them in their building. Let's say Wraps on them. If it was that, but if he's puts up a tie-dyed T-shirt stand out there that says Electron, or whoever, it doesn't really matter. Like we see T-shirt vendors do, then that's a problem, I think.
So, okay, so I know we had the 2 food and the 1 tattoo of the food court, and now this would not allow that, but why? I mean, if it's the owner of the court, shouldn't he be able to decide who he can lease the spots to? I mean, why can we not have vendors with food vendors?
You mean non-food
Non-food
vendors
vendors
with
with
food
the
Because
vendors?
he got it zoned and classified as a food court. That's the way the owner of the property has to do it.
Well, you've got a food truck court versus a mobile vendor court, basically. That's
Yeah.
the
Right,
distinction of it.
I understand that splits that up, but I didn't understand why.
Just a
So if
quick,
the tattoo place was going to stay, they would need to sell food and do tattoos.
There you go.
So we had to move,
Just sell nachos while they're getting their things tattooed.
because we don't sell food, we have.
No. I know it's a whole bunch more regulations for that part, but yeah.
just a
I
quick
just
food for
wondered
thought.
though, if it's up to the person that owns the food court, but they're not allowed to have mobile vendors, why?
fully mobile is designed to move frequently, events, multiple spots per day, per week, easier permitting in many areas, limited time per stop in some cities, must still return to the commissary daily. But then semi-permanent or fixed locations, many cities treat longer stays, 40 to 30 or more days, differently, may require zoning approval, conditional use permit, or reclassification as not fully mobile. So that may be something that you look at, where if it's somebody that's planning on staying longer.
It's a different classification.
But the other side of that too is, yeah, it's a different classification than on that side. If you're planning to stay over 30 days, then that might be the case where you look at some of the more stringent policies as well. If you're going to stay over 30 days, then maybe it's a higher permit even. Maybe it's, maybe the licensing is more. Maybe, whatever it happens to be on that side is just see where that push is. Make it distinguishable for that, because you've got some guys that go, they might set a place for 2 days and then go 3 days here and go 5 days there and go, because right now, I mean, you can pretty much, you could hop, skip, and jump all over town all day long, and it's not a problem. So maybe if that's the case for a semi-permanent, it's still mobile, then if they decide to pull out for a festival for a week, they're not going to get penalized for that. But they're going to pay more. They're going to be, there's a different type of restriction on that side of it. But, not keep them from going somewhere else if they decide to for a big event. But if they're planning on staying in a location, they've got a good location longer, then we just fit that portion of that stay to a higher level.
Okay, so why don't we do this, Scott? Let's just, we'll get something put together next week, a group to start to work on a redo and look at that.
Just doesn't have a motion to move it on tonight.
Yeah, and let it go. So I did have one other thing to announce, though, and I forgot. I understand the week of July 28th, I believe, there's some stuff being planned to look for around town. Bull Shoals Dam will be 75 years old, I believe. That's right.
Correct.
Shake your head, yes, Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny.
That's what you told me.
Sonny and I are.
I thought he was looking at
you, Eddie. Right there, right there.
Sonny and I are both in the Historical Society, and our president, Kevin Bodenhammer, has arranged with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. July marks the 75th anniversary of the opening of Bull Shoals Dam. So Colonel Allred, who is like over the Corps of Engineers, is coming up here. He'll be at the Historical Society at 6 o'clock that day, but they are possibly planning some events during the day. So there'll be more press releases as we find out more. But that's a big deal to have him come up here.
Well, it's a big deal for the dam to be 75-year-old. Long time.
Well, it's America's 250 on July 4th, but me and my wife celebrate 27 years together, so I just want to share that. That's 27 is important to me.
Nice.
What else is important to you?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.